So all of us are descendants of Noah and his sons, and I would make a note, especially with what we're about to talk about, that the sons of Noah got to enjoy safety because of who their father was, because their father was a righteous man. And then it says that Noah planted a vineyard, and then he drank the wine of that vineyard and got drunk, and he was naked in his tent. Well, his son Ham came up to that tent, and he saw his father naked, and he went and told his brothers, and apparently he made a joke of it, or he disrespected his father by doing this, and his other sons showed respect by taking a covering and backing into the tent so they couldn't see their father, turning their heads and covering him. Well, Noah woke up and he realized what happened. Maybe somebody told him, I'm not quite sure. But he cursed, not Ham, but the son of Ham, Canaan, and told him that he would serve the others. Now this is interesting because this is being written by Moses to the Israelites who are about to take the land of Canaan. But I think what we can learn from this is that we need to be very careful about respecting God's man. I mean, this was God's man, and we need to be very respectful toward the leadership that God has put in place. And nakedness is just a symbol of somebody's weaknesses or somebody's sin, and so we shouldn't be the kind of people that just make fun of and just cause other people to focus on other sins, right? I think Ham's intention was that his brothers would laugh also and see their father naked, and this was a very disrespectful thing. And I think plenty of people do that nowadays, in that they find the weaknesses or the faults, because we all have weaknesses and we all have things we're dealing with, and they find the weaknesses of leaders and they try to point it out to other people. I've certainly done this and been guilty of this. It was just the other day I was visiting a church, and I didn't really care for the way the pastor did things, and then I told someone, and then I thought of this and I apologized about it, because that's disrespectful, and I don't want to just commit that kind of sin by disrespecting authority. So we need to be very, very careful of that. And we also need to realize that our children are heavily influenced by what we do. Now the Bible does say, well, it says two things. It says that God will visit the sin on the third and fourth generation, or the second, I can't remember what generation. But of course he'll show mercy to thousands of generations. But it also says that God will punish people for their own sins and not their father's sins. But we know that children learn from us, right? So I'm going to make sure that I am trying to get out all the sin in my life. I'm asking a very valuable question that David asked God. I believe it was in Psalm 139. He said, see if there be any wicked way in me and lead me into the way everlasting. And we have got to do this, because I think our children are definitely influenced by our sins. I'm not sure if Canaan just had the same attitude where he disrespected authority. And if you disrespect authority, you're not going to move up in life. You're going to move down, right? Because pride comes before the fall, but humility comes before honor. And so this might be what happened with Canaan, is just he adopted this attitude, and his descendants adopted this attitude from Ham, that he disrespected authority instead of being a humble, reverent person. Because when you're humble and reverent, God can lift you up instead of lower you. And we find out that the Canaanites actually became servants of the descendants of Shem, which were the Israelites. And also it says that the descendants of Japheth would dwell in the tents of Shem, and that was to show that the law and the prophets and eventually the Messiah would come through the line of Shem, and we would all find comfort and shelter in Jesus Christ.